yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.
Everybody, wherever you are around the world. Actually, I want to know, can you drop it in the chat, please? Because we can all see this. I wanted to welcome you to BFF Minted, the launch event of a new decentralized community that's here to help teach you, women and non-binary people, how to get educated, connected, and ultimately rewarded in this new weird world of crypto and Web3. I am your host, Britt Morin, and let me tell you a little bit about myself before we dive in. So I am a serial entrepreneur and investor. That's the high level. But really, I think that my life's mission is to get people, but mostly women, outside of their comfort zones and into a weird, new, scary place where they feel uncomfortable enough, but ultimately love it because they are rising to their full potential. I've done this with my company, Brit & Co., which encourages women to find their creative confidence and grow out of that comfort zone. Self-Made, which helps women become entrepreneurs and learn how to start businesses. And my new venture fund, Offline Ventures, which frankly, if getting a venture capital check is not something scary, then don't talk to me, because that's one of the scariest things that any founder can ever do. I have been in and around the world of crypto for several years now. This is not new to me. Actually, over 4 years ago, my company, Brit & Co., helped launch an event called Decrypting Crypto. This was a time when only 4% of women were participating in the crypto industry. We're at about 19% now. So we haven't made that much progress, which is why I'm back again today. But I'm not alone. I have got a few friends here. Let's first turn it over to my co-founder of BFF, Jamie Schmidt. Jamie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Oh, I can't hear you, Jamie. So I think you're on mute. We forgot about that. There you go. Okay, I was wondering if it was me or you. There you go.
I wanted to make sure you were paying attention. Hey guys, I'm happy to be here alongside Britt in this amazing community of BFFs. Many of you know me as the founder of the brand Schmidt's Naturals. It's a brand of personal care products that I started in my kitchen back in 2010 as an artist, creator. never imagined scaling it to what it had become. Sold it to Unilever 7 years later. And then since then, I've been working as an investor, started the fund Color Capital alongside my partner and husband, Chris Cantino. We also started Crypto Packaged Goods, which is a community that at the intersection of Web3 and consumer. Our goal there was to bring together thought leaders and people who were interested in tapping into the potential of Web3, but also very interested in running consumer brands. And so we have operators and founders and investors in our group. And that was sort of my segue into this Web3 world. So here we are, and I'm excited to bring on more people who are interested.
Well, and you know, Jamie, it's not just you and I that started this initiative. We've got a bunch of really amazing people that have helped us do this. Can we show all of our amazing BFFs who are founding members? And maybe you guys can just wave to the crowd out there. Say hello. They aren't all going to come off mute right now because that would be really awkward. But trust me when I say we've got over 50 of the most incredible female and non-binary leaders here to help hold your hand as you walk through this. I'm looking at some of my friends. I've got Jen Hyman from Rent the Runway. I've got Jasmine Starr, Michelle Reeves, Lori Siegel, Jessica Hish, who also made our amazing logo. And I see my friend Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth, can you come up to the stage and tell everybody why you are so excited about BFF and what's in store for them today?
Well, I'm just, first of all, let me say, I'm just absolutely thrilled, both just to be here with the founding members of BFF, who are women who are among some of my dearest friends, some entrepreneurs that I admire deeply with all my heart, women who are banded together in the advancement of women. That's really the mission here. And I'm really just so excited to all learn together and to really kind of expose a broader group of interested, like-minded women to the world of crypto. I think we have been largely left out of this conversation as women, and we have watched a lot of these bros get together and earn a lot of money. And I think we deserve to be in the space just as much. I also think that there's a high probability that crypto will really be the future. And even though some people still remain very skeptical, I think it's here to stay. And so therefore we should really be part of it. So thank you to you, Britt, and the amazing Jamie. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm gonna start actually showing you guys a little bit of what is to come today. But first, I told you about who we are. Now I want to tell you who you are. We had so many people, tens of thousands of you actually sign up for this event. So we decided to open it up more broadly because the more the merrier, right? This is all about collaboration and community in this new Web3 world. 91% of you are female, 8% male, 1% non-binary. Let's see, what else can I tell you? The age ranges of those who've signed up have been between 10 and 80, which is amazing if you ask me. And the average crypto experience that you have is a 3, if you can believe that. So we are really excited about the idea of trying to teach you what this whole world is and how you can actually take advantage of it right now. I am going to walk you through today a few things. First of all, the agenda for today, which is not coming up on my screen, but I'll just talk through it right here. The agenda for today is what is BFF, right? What is this organization? We want to talk about Web 3.0 versus crypto. We're going to talk to you about what is the blockchain. We are going to not get too nerdy, but a little bit nerdy about it. I know a lot of you have questions about the environmental concerns that are happening out there in the world of Bitcoin and a bunch of other blockchains. So let's see if I can share this again. There we go. We also want to talk about how to buy crypto. What are tokens and NFTs? And then if you do stay on long enough, we have a special surprise for you. So I'm really excited about that. If you do not have a crypto wallet and you are excited to set one up, we will be staying on longer than this event runs, which is an hour and a half, by the way, for a one-on-one, not one-on-one, many-on-one crypto office hours with a wallet setup session. A few reminders today, by the way. We want to encourage everyone to always do their own research when it comes to crypto. We know that there are a lot of people out there saying a lot of different things about this world, and we can't always, know what's going to happen next. There are a lot of scammers we want you to be careful about. This is early days. So just know that You have to do your own research and we will help guide you as best we can. Please don't invest more than you can lose if you do choose to invest. And this is not even financial advice during the session. We aren't encouraging you to buy crypto. We are just telling you how it works and how this Web3 ecosystem works. We do want to call out all of our wingmen out there. We are happy about that 8% of male signups. We think it's amazing that there are men out there that support female initiatives like this. And we want everyone to know that we're all beginners. Even those of us on this call, this industry is so new and it's changing every day. We have to understand that it's okay to have a beginner's mind as we enter this world. I am going to actually try to re-share again my screen so that you guys can see it now. Okay, I think that we can try this. Here we go, sharing screen now. And we're having some glitches, but okay. So those were the reminders. I might have to just change up the way that we're screen sharing. So I will do that in a second. But we do want you to know that this is a revolution. We believe that this is a revolution. Maybe I'll just stick with it right here until we come off. This is something that, once in a generation of women happens. We know that for many hundreds of years, women have been fighting for equality. We have been searching for equal rights. This is a new multi-trillion-dollar industry that has been created, and we think that you guys should take part of it. Except for the problem is we're not taking a seat at the table. Actually, several years ago in 2018, there was an article that was written that said the first rule of being a woman in crypto is you don't talk about being a woman in crypto, with the theory that you will get shamed if you are a woman in crypto. So for all of us that want to participate today, we do not want you to feel like you are ostracized for being here. We don't think that you should feel afraid to be a woman in crypto. I'm going to pass it over now to my co-founder, Jamie, to tell you a little bit more about BFF and what it is that we are doing here to try to change what's going on in the world.
Yeah, thanks, Britt. So BFF, are we a brand? Are we a community? Are we a business? What are we? We are a group of people who want to see a more level playing field in Web3. As simple as that. Our goal is to really onboard those who have either felt skeptical or just felt left out or just felt confused. Our first step in that is all of you showing up here tonight. So thank you for being here, and you should feel proud for taking that initiative. We have huge plans for the future, which we are not yet ready to reveal, and which we don't exactly even know how to articulate. A lot of that is going to come from building our community, listening to our community, and just really working together to figure out what the ultimate goal is for BFF into the future. But we know there's huge potential, and we have a lot of people who signed up to be here, and let's go. We're excited to rally together and make this happen.
All right, so I want to talk to you about the industry right now. This is a chart of the last 10 years of the cryptocurrency industry. And this includes everything from people buying things like Bitcoin to NFTs and a bunch of other buzzwords you will hear later today. As you can see, this has become a multi-trillion-dollar industry, like I said before. However, the rise in this has really happened just in the last year, and it's just getting started. In the last 12 months, the crypto industry has actually exploded to 135% growth year over year. If you weren't convinced that maybe this is going mainstream, just last week, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter actually announced that they're going to start supporting NFTs inside of their ecosystems. Facebook actually, as you guys probably know, rebranded to Meta to signal the metaverse and the virtual reality world, which is a big part of Web3, which we'll explain later. Square changed their name to Block to symbolize their support of blockchain technology and everything else going on within the blockchain. Even our good friend Bill Gates said that in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll probably be hosting all of our meetings in the metaverse. So if you can imagine what that looks like, I'm sure that'll be a good time. But I have to say, I'm becoming more and more of a believer myself that this could be true. The Oculus app was actually the most downloaded app on Christmas, and the VR headsets outpaced things like Xbox and Christmas sales in the month of December. If you weren't believing that we are already in the metaverse, you're looking at it right now. We're on the we're in the metaverse, right? We just don't have cool things to wear and put on us yet. Unfortunately, women are not participating. Like I was saying before, only 6% of women in the US have purchased crypto. Men are outpacing women by 2 to 3 times in this category globally. We know that only 5% of NFT creators are female. And we know that only, sadly, 4% of crypto entrepreneurs are female. So we've got a lot of work to do, ladies. I want to show you now what is going on in the world of NFTs, which we'll talk a lot about later in this presentation. But just to give you a sense, there have been many projects happening over the last year. These are like the top 100 NFTs, highest selling NFTs, I should say. If you can't tell women are not participating, then just, send this picture around to all of your friends. What would the world of NFTs look like if women were participating in this industry? Well, it's actually not just for street cred that you're participating. There are real dollars to be had here. This is one of the highest selling NFTs of all time. It's called The First 5,000 Days. It was created by an artist named Beeple that sold for $69 million at Christie's auction house. Each image in this is an image that he took every day for 5,000 days. This is the type of wealth that's possible for people that start participating in this new ecosystem. And I know it sounds scary and strange and weird, but we have to play a part. Just like our friend Reese said, finance, education, and technology are evolving at a rapid rate, and we have to get involved now or get left behind. We all know that we cannot create any sort of revolution while excluding half of the population. So with that, I actually want to tell you more about this BFF thing, but before we do that, I have my good friend here, Mila Kunis, who has actually been part of the crypto world for a while now. She's kind of an OG. So Mila, you are best known as an actress. Where did all of your excitement for Web3 come from?
Isn't it sad that like 9 months ago makes me OG? Where did my excitement come from? You know what? I was doing a show with incredible artists who were Oscar-nominated animators and directors, and we realized we couldn't make the show and pay them. And I was like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? And I kept hearing this about this world of Web3 and NFTs and crypto in my house for about 10 years. And I was like, well, it's COVID. So if you can't beat them, join them. And I was stuck in a house, and I had the time to immerse myself in something. And I would like to say Lisa, who's somewhere in this, Sterbakov, and I, my producing partner, we essentially Frankensteined this concept together, being like, this will be easy. How hard can it be? Wait, it was way harder than we thought. I'll tell you, we lost a lot of sleep and grew a lot of gray hairs. But through the process, through trial and error, I think have learned a lot, and are super proud of this community and the community that we've built and the group of people that we have around us. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's the wild, wild west out there.
I know. I remember talking to you in May of last year, and we were just trying to understand, like, what are all of the ways we can do this? Where do we go to learn more about this? Like, where did you even learn about this? Did you just go on like the internet and Google it, or did someone teach you? Like, how did you learn, if not from something like BFF, like what we're doing today?
Okay, I'll tell you. I had this, which is like my little notepad, and I would go to meetings and I pretended like I knew what people were saying. I had no clue. I didn't know what a single acronym was. I didn't understand what a wallet was. I was like, blockchain, duh, obviously. And I started just writing these things down, and the meeting would end. And then I would spend from like 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Googling everything and being like, what are these words? What is this? Like, anything from like sandbox to, I mean, like things that like nowadays are in such a vernacular of like everybody knows what everything is, but back then you were just like, oh my God, how am I going to keep up? And I'm telling you, it was like self-taught is the best way I can say. And I guess I wasn't really scared to ask dumb questions. And I had a lot of support from really great people. And I discovered Morgan and Maria, who are somewhere on this through this. And they came on board, and they are, you know, talk about OG. I think, you know, both of them, Morgan came from Libra and Maria just self-immersed in the metaverse and in NFTs and in crypto for years and years and is an expert. And they came on board and helped Lisa and I and helped navigate us and the world. And then we just kind of hijacked them to join us.
And what makes you so excited about where this is all going in the future and potentially getting more women and non-binary people involved?
I mean, we really did talk about this at length. And so I will try to condense it because it is one of those passionate conversations where I feel I go like on a very long tangent about, but it is to yours and Gwen's point about, you know, for the first time in especially the tech age or any age, women are one-to-one with men. Like we're on an even playing field. We have no excuse other than ourselves. And we're so conditioned to follow rules that have been set forth for us. And this is the first time where rules are being created daily. And I don't want to follow other people's rules. I want to create my own rules and find my own boundaries. And that's what made me really excited about this is a very gray area. All of Web3, Meta included, NFTs is a gray box. And I don't need men to tell me where the lines are. And I can do this. I also think that we are so conditioned as women to be risk averse. You know, men go make the money. We are taught to save that money, and though men make the money, we're taught to save that money and, you know, coupon. And I think that the youth have a better chance of being risk averse. Like when you're 20, you think you're made of Teflon, you have nothing to lose. You're like, whatever, I'll do this. What's the worst that can happen? And the older you get, the more you realize that there's, you know, all these other things you have to consume yourself with and worry about. And so I think I'm really fortunate in a place in my life where I want to take risks and I want to see what happens. And I have kids and I want my kids to be able to mimic that behavior instead of what their society tells them they should do.
I guess my last question for you. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, you have a daughter, right? And that makes you feel like you want her to be living in this world and you need to be the one building it for her, right? Like these are the times where we can build that infrastructure if we participate.
Build the world you want to live in, right? Like that's like, this is it. This is the world that you can build that you want to live in. Like we can have that much say and influence in Web3. We have no excuse. And I don't want to look back and say, oh God, I wish I would have just taken that risk. Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So tell us one last question before we wrap is what projects are you most excited about right now besides Stoner Cats, which we're going to talk about later on when we talk about NFTs?
BFF, I'm very excited about it. I genuinely am. Okay. I'm not going to shit talk other versions of this that are very male heavy, but there's when we deep dived into this world, there were certain communities that were created by men, essentially for men. It was like another boys club where the majority of the holders of these tokens were 90% men. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to join another boys club. And then when you called about this, I've never been more excited. This was such an obvious, brilliant innovation in this community, in this world, that I wholeheartedly am most excited about this. I think that for me to say Web3, you know, Meta, Web3, NFT, like call it whatever you want to call it, is moving at such a rapid rate that I think compounded, like the innovation of the past 20 years will be in the next 2 months. You know, the equivalence is just moving so fast. So it's really hard to say, but I think the direction it's all going, the fact that you were able to get this many women on a Zoom to get them excited about cryptocurrency is so cool, Britt. Like I've been dying to do that. I've been screaming about crypto for however long, and people are like, be quiet. So this is the coolest thing. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of the women that you put together and how accessible you're making something feel that feels so intangible to so many people.
Well, thank you. And like I said, I mean, this is truly a village. I think, we all know it takes a village. I think we all know that that's how women have survived for hundreds of years now, is by having a village of support. And that's the promise of what this new world offers, is that everyone gets to contribute and own together. So thank you, Mila, so much. I do want to toss it over to my dear friend, Moj Madara, who is a serial entrepreneur and investor and has a few things to say about marginalized people beyond just women in this ecosystem. Moj, come on up.
Hi, Britt.
Hey there. I think you have a special guest today, don't you?
I do. My friend Sheen's here. Sheen, are you here?
Hi guys, how's it going?
Sheen. First of all, I'm gonna just say congrats to you and Jamie. I'm so impressed. You have put this together with such intense velocity. You have been relentless. You have been on it. And you have accomplished this amazing mosaic of people. And a lot of people here that I love who have made a huge impact in my life. I see Susan Line here. I see the OG person in my life that brought me into this space, Rachel Weiss, who heads up innovation at L'Oreal. So congrats. One of the things you and I have talked a ton about is why this space is important to me and why I care about it. As a gender nonconforming, non-binary person, as someone who recently just had top surgery, someone who's really in the exploration of male, female, gender expression, Sheen actually was my top surgery coach, was my friend that I met on the internet to help me sort of guts my way through this thing. And as we got to know each other, what blew my mind is that we both had this shared understanding of entrepreneurship. And I think in Web3, whether it's for women or people of color or non-binary people, so many of us are often looking for ways to become financially independent and be self-authored financially. And that conversation has been super limited to cis, male, white categories primarily. And so what's awesome about this space is we're on the ground floor. We're still very early days. And I wanted to sort of give Sheen a moment because I don't know anyone else that's built like a 21 unit real estate portfolio through Bitcoin, but I'd love for you to sort of share a little bit, Sheen, about that and how you got into the space like 7 years ago.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. Okay, great. So first of all, thank you BFFs for having me. This is a dream come true for sure. I met Moj when she was kind of going through it, and I was we went through the same processes, and it's not every day you wake up and you say I'm gonna get my boobies taken off today. So it's a long process, and when we got together, I had no idea as well what she had going on. It was just kind of more connected based on, hey, we're trans or non-binary or anything we want to be, a rock or a Gatorade or whatever, right? And so my entire essence was kind of like growing up as a female. I actually just got my surgery this year with alongside Motion. I always thought like, thank you so much. What am I going to do when I grow up, right? Because I felt like I was so unemployable. So kind of like walking around, a little heavy set dyke, didn't really know what the heck was going on, right? And so I was always worried, kind of like, what am I going to do? My parents lost their house in the 08-09 crisis, and I was living in a car for a while, right? And so I got myself through college and stuff like that, and I took a backpacking trip through Europe the next day. And the next thing I knew, I was kind of trekking through countries, and I just saw Bitcoin accepted, and I was like, what is this Bitcoin, right? And like Mila, I'm an OG for 6 or 7 years ago, and I didn't have much to gain or lose, right? Just coming out of school. And so it was something that I believed in because it was an international way of payment. And I was like, what's better than that? Because I kept losing my money when I went to exchange. So long story short, I called my cousin who is a manager of Wells Fargo. I said, hey, what's in my life savings? I told her to wire it to me. She's like, is this you? Are you sure? Asked me a couple of questions. What was your favorite fruit growing up? So she knew it was me because I was like in Czech Republic and things like that. And I was like, strawberry, send me the 10K. And so put that all in there. And I was called, a loser the whole time. I kind of held it through the bear markets and stuff like that. And then recently became a millionaire by holding by simply just holding. Yeah, so I have bought a few houses since then. My biggest acquisition was this year with Bitcoin. I bought a house in Laguna Beach and their investment properties. I'm 28 years old, and what I do now is I hold free Sunday sessions for everyone and anyone, just to kind of just share the information. I'm just inspired to share the info that I have so that we can kind of, you know, do this as a team, because now that I'm seeing all these percentages, I'm like, that's not cool. Let's get the girls and, you know, get you guys some skin in the game, and us some skin in the game too. You know, as non-binary people, they don't feel very welcome in a lot of scenarios, but cyber and metaverse and internet and crypto and Bitcoin, it's here for everybody. And I can't wait, you know, to see you guys involved, and this is amazing.
Thanks, Sheen. Thanks, Britt, for giving us the floor. And Jamie, for women of color, non-binary people, and minorities, working moms, whatever it is that has you feeling like you can't have access to the financial opportunities, I just think this is like an incredible way to get that knowledge. And I just advise everyone not put anything in the market that you can't lose. But this is the time to learn, because the boys are getting loaded rich doing this stuff. And it's all through inside secrets. It's all through friendship groups like this. And so, yeah, I'm proud of you guys. I'm happy. I'm grateful for the floor. And I hope someone out there who's listening, who feels marginalized in any way, not just their sexuality or ethnicity or religion or financial makeup, can feel like they can make a friend here, because I've made a lot of friends here. And a lot of the people on this page are who I make money with and enjoy making money with. So I hope that you guys get the same too.
Thank you. Thank you, Moj. Thank you, Shane, so much. We want to start diving into a lot of the education now. I think we've done an okay job setting the stage of why you guys probably believe that this is something to pay attention to and that it's for everyone out there. Now I want to actually start with a fun little round of buzzwords, because if you're going to participate in Web3 and crypto, you need to know some of the lingo. And if you're ever on Twitter or Discord or in a lot of these channels where a bunch of crypto people hang out, you're probably going to see some of these words and have no idea what they mean. So I'm going to pass it to some of my BFFs here to define them. The first one we have is GM. Pyle, can you tell me what GM means?
It means good morning, which is not surprising, but I think what's really amazing is that it shows you how kind and welcoming the whole Web3 community is. So if you're ever on Discord or Twitter and you say GM, you will be welcomed back with open arms, with a bunch of emojis and welcome. And I think that's what's really important, is how optimistic and positive this whole community is in accepting everyone.
Totally. Erica Chitty, if you are there, I want you to try to describe what WAGMI means. WAGMI is a term that I see all over the place. What does that mean?
Well, WAGMI apparently means we're all going to make it, which I feel like applies across the board, including like in this moment. I think some people were referring to January as Cry January, which I was like, I understand that. But the idea is it's to basically, when the crypto markets are when people feel like they're optimistic about the crypto market, that's when they say we're all gonna make it. So if you throw that on any of the channels that you're on, that's gonna get probably some really interesting responses, because I feel like there's sometimes some disparate feelings about whether or not people are feeling optimistic, but it's a cool acronym.
Love it. All right, Dina, tell us about FUD. What is FUD? F-U-D. I feel like I'm in a spelling bee or something right now.
F-U-D, FUD. FUD is basically the opposite of FOMO. It stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I know a lot of us may have felt some FUD when it comes to crypto, and BFF is here to eliminate that FUD and turn it into fun.
I love it. All right, HODL. Shiza, what is HODL? HODL was one of the first things I saw, and I was like, what is HODL? Is this a character in a weird Disney movie? Go ahead.
HODL is holding on for dear life. This is one for the true believers, so the ones who don't day trade, but HODL. Also, acronyms are made up, so don't let them feel like you can't participate, and feel free to make some of your own up.
Love it. Swan, very important. Tell me about gas. I need to know about gas, Swan.
Well, unlike Web 2, which is big centralized servers, the blockchain is composed of thousands of computers around the world that distribute the information. No one person or company is in control, and that's the beauty of Web 3. But we need to pay those people who own and run those computers that log our transactions, and that fee is called gas. And the tricky thing is gas is variable. It goes up when there's a lot of demand, lower when it's not. So that's why you hear gas war. So be careful because it can really affect the price of your NFT.
Yes. We like low gas on all things, frankly. Okay, Justina, what is minting? I've heard this, this event is called BFF Minted. What does that even mean? What does it mean to mint something?
We are minting ourselves right now as a DAO, a community, a group. So excited to be here. To mint something basically just means to create or produce something, and then that something gets recorded on the blockchain. And it's like, you can think of it as, I think of Scrooge McDuck, which my little girl watches all the time. It's like how gold and silver get mined and then they mint coins out of them. So we're minting things on the blockchain. We're minting NFTs. So the way you would use it in a sentence is, I just minted my first NFT. And that's minting.
Love it. BFF Minted. Here we go. 2 more left. Amy Porterfield. What does the floor mean? Oh, I think you're on mute, Amy Porterfield.
Come on. Okay, how about now?
There you go.
Okay, so the floor price is the lowest price of an item in a collection. So let's say I go to a shoe store and the lowest price for a pair of any of their shoes is $50, then the floor price is $50. So similarly, if I want to shop an NFT collection, then the floor price is the lowest price of the weakest selling NFT.
Love it. Love it. Lastly, if Maria is here, Maria is the one who taught me this acronym, PFP. It's very important. What is a PFP?
Hey, so a PFP stands for profile picture, and it's a term that's used to describe a certain type of NFT. So, if you think about the Bored Ape Yacht Club or the crypto punks that you might have seen that people make into their Twitter avatar, PFP is a term used to describe that aesthetic and that style of an NFT collection.
Yes, profile photos. And that's what in a Facebook and Twitter also launched last week. Twitter now, if you see hexagon profile photos, it means that's an NFT. So I do want to now show you guys that we have been brainstorming some of our own acronyms that we think should become a thing just because of everyone that's watching this and participating. Let's go make a new acronym a thing. These were some that were voted on by this founding BFF community, but we want you guys to vote. So we have Joy, this is pronounced Joy, get in on it, NLB, Not Left Behind, BFF, Not Best Friends Forever, maybe it's Blockchain Friends Forever, or suggest your own. So text us to vote, and we will be announcing the results of this little voting survey in the next few minutes. But for right now, I actually want to transition and introduce my friends Sheila Marcello and Alexa Von Tobel as they actually tell you all about what Web3 means and why it's different than crypto.
Thanks, Britt. Hey, GEGE, good evening, everyone. I'm Sheila Marcello. I'm founder of care.com. I'm known to many of you, I'm sure, as the mom brand for families, nannies, and babysitters. And that was my first business in Web 2. And now I'm jumping back in as a co-founder of my next company in Web3 and EdTech. But before I get into any of that, today I really want to introduce, and I'm excited to spend some time with my very good friend, Alexa Von Tobel. She's founder and managing partner of Inspired Capital. She is also an incredible best-selling author of a great book, Financially Forward, super passionate about teaching women about the importance of finance. So Alexa, we're super excited to dig into this massive topic of Web3. How do you define it in its most simplest terms for everyone?
Sure, so thank you so much, Sheila, and excited to be here today. As you can see on the slide, this is one of my favorite pictures because it's so simple and it really, Web3, it sounds so hard to kind of wrap your head around, but this is the best visual, which is Web 1.0, which is really early 2000s, was read-only. Web 2.0, which happened, call it, 2005 and onwards, was read and write. And now here we are in 2022, and we're starting to enter Web3, which is read, write, and own. And if you head to the next slide, I can really walk you through a little bit more about what that means, and let's explore this concept. So let's take real examples. Web 1.0, we all remember way back in the day. Let's think about what e-commerce looked like on Web 1.0. Literally, it would be a catalog online. You couldn't do anything with it. It was read only. You couldn't shop, you couldn't buy, you couldn't add it to a cart. It was incredibly simplistic. Fast forward to Web 2.0, which really, that term coined itself in 2005. And there was this great article in 2008 in TechCrunch that said Web 2.0 companies that I can't live without. And it included, little old companies, Gmail, Facebook, Skype, Twitter, and YouTube, which were at the time quite early. And basically what existed then, Sheila, was you could actually start to go not only and see, but you could buy, you could transact, you could refund, put into a cart, and really play back and forth. So fast forward to today, we're really used to Web 2.0, but Web 3.0 sits on blockchain technology. We're going to explain more what that means throughout today. But it really unlocked the ability for a fully open system. So something that we can all see, we can all participate, and it goes beyond just that read write, but it adds this pretty critical feature, which is about owning. And that's the one I think everybody on, visually here today is so enthusiastic about. Sheila, I'd love to quickly pass it to you. You've obviously built a monster company in Web 2.0, you've taken it public, been really successful, and you're working on your next thing. What would you add to how you think about Web 3.0 here?
Well, Alexa, I love this thing that you talk about Web3 and blockchain that allows for open and systems that everybody can participate and own. And a very dear friend of mine, Ai-Jin Poo, who's a key advocate for caregivers, she and I used to brainstorm this dream that we had that why couldn't we build a platform where more caregivers could actually own care.com, right? How could we structure it that way? The beautiful thing about this technology now is in Web3 is that we can all participate, which is super exciting because as we know, caregivers really make up that part of society that makes all work possible, but they don't get paid enough. So how do we actually provide overall access? And so what I'm excited about is this potential. But before we get into all of that, Alexa, what Web3 might mean for us? What are sort of these pain points of Web2? What were the challenges?
Yep. So the way, Sheila, I process all of this is Web3 is really fixing some of the challenges of Web 2. So here are those core challenges. Those problems basically in summary are, we were the product, users of all of the internet were ultimately the product. We didn't own our own data, and ultimately we got no control over decision-making power. And I think the way to think about it is think about your Instagram. You go on, you create content, you're creating videos, you're doing lots of things, you're amassing people to spend more time thinking about the great photos of your kids you posted. You don't get that value. You don't get to control what happens to those photos. There's tons of problems there. And if we go to the next slide, there's this great visual from Chris Dixon. So this, we're using one of his wonderful slides. He's an investor from Indries in crypto, but this is a great picture of what really went wrong with Web 2. So you had platforms, and again, think of them all. Twitter's a good example, that worked really hard to get literally millions, hundreds of millions, of users on their platform to share content, and they work really hard to do that. And then at one point, they really begin to monetize those users. And so these platforms, these centralized platforms, Twitter, for example, gets very, very big, and it creates massive amounts of value. And us, the users, get none of it, and we get none of the rights, and we own nothing. And so much about what Web3 is really about is fixing some of those challenges. So if we go to the next slide, Web3 really enables the ownership economy. And Sheila, for me, and I'm deeply passionate about empowering people's wallets and completely a nerd about how do we help more and more people, not just here in the United States, but around the world, get access to more money. What's so amazing is Web3 really enables this ownership economy. So Sheila, I would love to get a sense of what you love about the ownership economy, but then I want to tell you a little bit of how I think about it.
I mean, one of the things I love is the fact that a lot of people can really share and participate. As you pointed out, the contributions that actually everybody makes is super important. And if I think about the power of education, that we can have global access for everyone, I watched this documentary 6 months ago, and it just hit me home, and it became very emotional. And in this documentary, there were poor people from the Philippines on a game called Axie Infinity. It's one of the top crypto companies now, provided by scholarships of another crypto company called YGG, right? That was actually supporting poor people in rural areas in the Philippines to actually earn income higher than the average wage. And it was considered what we call play to earn. And the fact that I scratched my head and I said, wait a minute. And this documentary showed grandmothers opening a crypto wallet, buying Ethereum, which is one of the coins, right? And buying NFTs, playing a game and making money than the average wage. So I knew something was going right overall, that we were ready for consumer applications in the metaverse and to allow people truly global access, Alexa. So it's super, super exciting. We pass it back to you.
Yeah, I love that example. And in fact, if you go to the next slide, we have a few more that just really bring this home. So let's go back to Twitter. Let's go back to Brit. This is a perfect example of, Brit was an early user on Twitter. She was user number 3,476. Imagine, Twitter's now worth $28 billion or more, depending on the day. And imagine the fact that Brit went there early. She brought friends. Many of us were early users on Facebook. We brought lots of friends, tons of content. But we didn't get any of the upside, not 1 ounce. And that really is the difference of Web 2 to Web 3. It's the fact, and Web 3 is going to feel in so many ways just like the internet, right? It's not going to be this totally new shift. It's going to feel like a seamless transition, but it has this incredible unlock that's going to allow people all over the planet. Sheila had a great example of grandmothers, people all over the planet who get upside. I want to use one more quick example, just and Brit really wanted to use Destiny's Child, so thank you, Brit, here. So let's go back to the 1990s. We all love Destiny's Child, great music. Let's just say you were a huge fan of early Beyonce. You just were like, this girl is on fire. You could be an early fan. You could get access to being an early follower of her, get a token out of that. Follow her, show up at every concert, tweet about her, share everything, help her get big. And fast forward to the next slide, when she literally becomes Beyonce, you would have been able to not only align that fandom, it's truly about alignment to upside. You were there early, you supported her, you shared content, you bought tickets, you got dropped early access to content she created. But fundamentally, you then got to make money on the fact that you helped this amazing artist continue to get bigger. And that can happen literally for millions of people, which is amazing. And for a Beyonce, it means perfect alignment to their fans. There's no record company in the middle that really, makes it hard for them to actually know who their fans are. So in short, that's a really good example of when we say ownership, it means doing the things you like to do already, but just getting paid for them fairly. And I think that's pretty exciting for what it can mean. Let's go to the last slide.
So what are some of the exciting implications then for all of this? I mean, I love Beyonce. I mean, what are the kinds of things that happens now?
So, I think, and again, this is a great slide from Punk 6529 that really just shows where are we in this journey. And the headline is, Web 1.0 took about 15 years. Web 2.0 took maybe 10 years. I can't tell you how fast Web 3.0 is going to happen, but it could happen a lot faster. And basically, we're in the early innings here, and it begins to show you how this is going to move. It's collectibles and art and gaming, but soon it's going to move beyond into culture, metaverse. I would argue it's already in culture in many ways, but we're in the early innings, and we can see so much happening. So, Sheila, I'd love for you to wrap this up and add anything I missed, but Web 3 is just truly exciting. We couldn't be more pumped to be here today.
I mean, it's really here and now. Alexa, I think what's so exciting is that we're all here tonight to do this together. We're actually all learning together. Britt emphasized this. This is all about learning together, and we're all beginners. We're crafting together. That means as crafters, we own Web3 together. As Mila and Britt said, let's build this world together that you want to live in. So I'm going to pass it over to my friend, Britt.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, you guys. I think that was really helpful for a lot of people from what I've been hearing. And I think we're just skimming the surface. Like I said, next up, we are going to get a little bit more technical. As you see, we're going deeper and deeper. Okay, guys, just hang in there. All right. We are going to start talking about the blockchain. We've got Alon here to share more about that. Alon, why don't you come up to the stage and introduce yourself?
Awesome. What's up, everyone? My name is Alon. I'm a developer advocate at Alchemy. That's alchemy.com. If you're a builder in the space, definitely check it out. I also helped start another women's organization in crypto called We3. Also check that out. So what we're going to do now, we learned a little bit about crypto. We learned a little bit about Web3. Now we're going to uncover the hood a little bit and learn about the blockchain. So first, I want to get some things straight. Blockchain does not equal crypto, and that does not equal Web3. In fact, they have a very specific relationship, and that is blockchain is the backbone of crypto and Web3. It is the infrastructure engine that powers those two industries. And this is really, really important. So how should you think about blockchain? Well, it's literally a chain of blocks. You can think about it as blocks strung together piece by piece. One number goes up, they're all sequenced in order, and that's kind of how you can frame it. And you might be wondering, what are in these blocks? Well, blocks you can literally think about as storage units, right? So they're storage units that store arbitrary data, and that depends on the blockchain's implementation. So it can store different types of things. So we're gonna look at an example real quick. And this is a very specific example. We're gonna look at Bitcoin. And when I say Bitcoin, I actually mean Bitcoin, the blockchain, not the currency. We all are very, very familiar with Bitcoin as a currency. Bitcoin is really what took crypto to the mainstream. It's kind of the first cryptocurrency. It's really what made it popular. We're going to uncover the hood on Bitcoin as a blockchain. So let's get into it. So don't be intimidated. There's a bunch of numbers here. There's numbers and letters and cryptographic hashes, and this can be very intimidating. Don't be intimidated. We're going to break this down right now. So this is Bitcoin block 720142. And what I literally did is went online the other night, took a screenshot of a Bitcoin block explorer, and then pasted it in here. And this is this whole concept of things being public. Anyone can see any transactions that happen on the blockchain. So in the case of Bitcoin, Bitcoin stores transactions. Remember, blockchains are just storage units. So Bitcoin stores transactions. In this block specifically, we have 968 transactions. We see that in the top left corner here. If you go to the next slide, you can see that each of these transactions has a unique hash, and these are called transaction hashes. You can think about transaction hashes like receipts, like digital receipts, right? So if I go to the grocery store and I'm like buyer number 49, then I have 49 on my receipt. That's like what a transaction hash is. They're all unique identifiers. Transactions also have a unique value associated with them. So if we look at this first transaction here, this person sent 4 Bitcoin to someone else. That's a lot of money. So this is kind of a crazy transaction, but they have a specific value associated with them. We'll go to the next slide. And then they also have an input and output. So this is like the sender and the receiver. So every transaction has these sort of basic components, input, output, value, all of those things that we're familiar with. So how is this different from normal financial transactions? How does this differ from what we use every day? Well, let's break down what happens when you do a normal transaction. Let's say I go to a coffee shop and I want to buy a cup of coffee. I often use my credit card to do that. And what happens with that credit card transaction is it gets sent to my bank, and my bank reduces a certain amount of money from my account and maybe adds a certain amount of money to the coffee shop's account, right? And that bank is this central party that's controlling the checks and balances of our accounts. Now, where does that information get stored? Well, it actually gets stored in this third component here, which are servers. And these are private data servers. You might have heard this term server before. It's basically like a private storage unit that the bank controls. And this is a really, really important factor, right? The bank is controlling all of this information. So if banks were to one day wake up and say, hey, I'm feeling very malicious against Alon, they could go in and modify the amount of money I had. And because they're the only beholders of the truth, I couldn't really do anything about it. They controlled the data servers. This is really important. So let's do the same exact transaction, but let's use Bitcoin instead. All right, so I go and buy my cup of coffee and I make this Bitcoin transaction. Now, rather than getting sent to a centralized bank, this gets sent to a decentralized network of miners. thousands and thousands of miners. Anyone can be a miner, right? And every single one of those miners gets a copy of this transaction. And there's also this concept of nodes, but we'll save that for another time. So everyone gets a copy of this transaction. And now there's no longer one person who's the beholder of truth. And not only that, once that transaction is confirmed, it gets stored on a public ledger, on a blockchain, right? And so this is something that anyone can see. It's immutable. It's not in a private data server that anyone can modify, or that a single person can modify. It's completely public and visible to everyone, and no one can change it. So this is a really, really different model for a transaction than what we know and use today. So why is blockchain different? Why is this so important? Number one, it's public. All you need is the internet to access it. We heard about an example earlier in the Philippines using Axie Infinity. You can tap into the blockchain just with the internet. Number two, it's immutable. And this has to do with the security principles of blockchain. You can't change it. Once things are confirmed, they can't be modified. Number three, it's decentralized. Remember, there's a network of people running this blockchain. There's no single controller determining everything. Number four, it operates 24/7. So no more 9 to 5 waiting for the banks to open up and using it when people can actually go in and work. This whole thing is run by code. So a lot of the times people say crypto never sleeps. This is why. It's completely automated. It's run by code. You don't have to worry about people behind it moving the levers. So you might be thinking, wow, those are amazing traits. But what if I want to do more than just transactions? What if I want to do more than just transact? So let's talk about Ethereum. All right, how is Ethereum different? The analogy I like to give is if Bitcoin is a simple calculator, then Ethereum is a smartphone. So it can do everything that Bitcoin can and more. And the reason is Ethereum allows you to store both transactions and arbitrary code. So now you can have things like NFTs and these applications and transact. So let's take a look at some examples that we could build. One, decentralized bank. So rather than having this central party determining your bank account, anyone can spin up a bank account and not have to go give their social security number or do all these things and get approved. You can just instantly get access to a bank. There's all these digital ownership marketplaces. So we talked about some examples of investing in creators. There's these whole new economies being created because of this. And then one that really stuck with me was this idea of global supply chain tracking. So provenance. If you don't know what provenance means, it's basically like, we have this global economy of products. How do we track every single hand that that product gets placed in before it gets to me? We can do that using the blockchain because of its properties. What I really want to leave you with here is this is the internet today. There are all these applications, Uber, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All of these applications that sort of run Web 2 right now are siloed in data servers. They all control their data, only their teams can look at it, and none of it is shared. They own the data that we kind of produce. Now, the internet of tomorrow is this. It's blockchain. It's everyone is sharing the same information. Everyone has the same database, and that means your application is on the same level as everyone else, no matter what. You're all tapping into that same information. And so to give you some concrete examples about what this means, 1Password. So because I have this digital identity, rather than maintaining 100 logins and forgetting all these passwords, that digital login can take with me, I can take it with me everywhere. Because remember, everyone's tapping into the same database. Number two, your network, your friends. All of my friends that I added on Facebook, and my generation doesn't really use Facebook as much anymore, or more Instagram, but all my followers and friends on Instagram, I can take them over to LinkedIn because those connections are stored on the blockchain. And LinkedIn can know that I have those connections because we're all looking at that database. And then lastly is this concept of ownership. So one kind of concrete example here is, my brother is a professional video gamer, so I like to use this example. If he acquires a sword, a magical sword, in the video game he plays is called Overwatch. So let's say he acquires this magical sword in Overwatch. He can now transfer that to another game like Fortnite. And it stays with him because he has one digital identity. So there's entirely new economies and entirely new products that can be produced from this technology. So the thought I want to leave all of you guys with is, what is something in your life that you think can be revolutionized by a decentralized and public network? And thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you, Alon. I'm pretty sure you just stole the show. I mean, this was I think the hardest and most central core topic to understand. And you made it seem like I was learning calculus in preschool and totally getting it. So thank you so much for that. I hope everyone out there at least understands a little bit more about blockchain. This is the foundation of everything for crypto and Web3 and beyond. And this is why we're so excited about the future. Now, to switch gears a bit, there's something that maybe you might want to learn how to do, which is how to buy crypto. So with that, we also have our friend Ariel, who's here from the company Ledger, which is actually a crypto wallet brand, who's here to introduce how to actually buy crypto. Ariel, come to the stage and say hello.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Ariel and I'm live from Paris. So for me, I kind of feel like I'm at a sleepover with all my BFFs learning. So Ilana, I wish that you had been a part of so many elements of my education and everyone who's been on stage because I wish that I had you all. But congratulations, because you know the acronyms, you've learned about the space, you are now experts more than most people in the world. And I just want to contextualize it a little bit because you are still very early in Web3 and crypto. In 2017, there were about 50 million people who were participating in crypto, and 2020, we had about 300 million. So contextualizing that into the greater world, there's still a lot to do. So take a deep breath. Now that you've learned, you could actually buy. So let's go to the next slide and talk about it a little bit. So a few of the key takeaways here when you're thinking about purchasing crypto, just as you know it was spoken about before, there are many different choices that you can make, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. We're seeing some of the market volatility in the bear market. Don't worry, we're going to get through it. But it's really important that you do your research. Take a deep breath. Again, you have time. And one thing I would say too is a lot of the sort of learnings maybe that we had around mental health from the pandemic probably apply to crypto and Web3, because one thing you need to know right now is once you purchase, there are no takebacks. And if you accidentally send something to the wrong wallet or you hit the wrong button, right now, there is no undo. So when you're looking to make your first purchases, really think about, okay, do I know that I'm sending this to the right address? Which really brings me to this aspect of you have to have a wallet when you're purchasing crypto, and you're not limited to purchasing whole coins. And what I think is also incredibly exciting about groups like BFF, or when you do more research into DAOs and NFTs, is that you have the ability to earn tokens and to earn rewards or to earn drops based on your participation. And so the value of your participation is also seen as something that can have a monetary value over time, which is really important for you to know. And so on top of that, what I want to make sure that everybody knows, and I'm at Ledger, which is the world's most secure Web3 platform and wallet. And we say that because we really mean it. We have these white hat hackers that are in our dungeon outside of Paris, and it's their job to hack anything in the world and try and make the industry more secure. And it's really important that you take time to learn that when you have transactions on the blockchain, they stay on the blockchain. And what you're actually protecting is your private key. And the way I would think about that is when you have a mailbox that someone sends mail to, anyone can have your public address, right? They send you mail, you check it, you hope that it's not always bills and that it's something fun. But you're the only one that should have your private key. You want to have your private mailbox key to see what's inside of it. And if other people get your private mailbox key, they can take sensitive information from you. Like think about, when you're a younger teen as a BFF, if your mom or your parent found your diary and they had your private key, it's kind of a bummer. So think about that from monetary value. That's why with your wallet, you really want to keep things secure, and you want to do it at the beginning because it's hard to go backwards. And so when you're thinking about a wallet, there's basically, you don't want to make these mistakes. And so there's two different types. There's a hot wallet and a cold wallet. And I know once again, the acronyms can be sort of silly, but one thing that I also think is exciting about this moment is so much of the conversation for women traditionally around finances is very stigmatized. With crypto, we really have an opportunity in Web3 to remove those challenges and the way that we communicate with each other about money. And so if we have to use sillier terms to do it, that's okay. But a hot wallet is something, it's called hot because it's on the internet. It's a little bit less secure. It's something like a MetaMask or a Coinbase where, you know, you're signing transactions on the blockchain directly through that interface, and it's still secure. Like we work with all of these partners, and especially if you're purchasing a lot of NFTs, you're definitely using MetaMask a lot. But the most secure thing you can do is have that cold wallet because it's keeping that private key off of the blockchain. And it's really important that you create these connected safes because you don't want to be able to get hacked and not know that. Because when you think about authentication off of the blockchain, think about it kind of as like your two-factor for life. Like it's like you're usually encouraged to set up a two-factor for your phone or your bank account, and it's really annoying. You don't want to do it. Trust me, I have many friends on this call that send me DMs all the time saying, the user interface is not good enough. This is overly complicated. You're right. We're early in Web3. Make the sacrifice of extra time to give yourself additional security. And then additionally, you know, it's really important to understand that when you get your private key, you're going to write it down, you're going to hide it, you're going to feel like you're in a heist film, you're not going to tell anyone what your private seed phrase is. And if anyone asks you any questions for your private phrase, you know that that's someone trying to scam or hack you. So please, please, please make sure that you take a deep breath and don't share that information. And we'll continue to see this evolve over time. You know, we're seeing companies like Square announce that they're getting into the wallet game, others as well, and that'll bring more adoption into the space, and that's what we want. We just want to make sure that the ecosystem stays secure. And so in order to securely buy Ethereum, you can do that through your connected interface. For us, we encourage doing that through Ledger Live because it will allow you to actually convert. You know, you've heard a little bit before already about these on and off ramps, but you can take the stable currency of where you live around the world. And I say that because the beauty of crypto is that it's growing at the same rate internationally as it is in places like the United States or France, where I am right now. And basically you can convert it into ETH or into Bitcoin. You can swap through these things called exchanges. And then once you've created your swap, you can then utilize your exchange to basically be able to purchase that non-fungible token, your NFT, or if you're staking, or you know, many other terms that I'm sure BFF will be diving into later. So as you can see here, there's verification tools throughout the process that you know you're sending to the right address through it. And it's just really important to remember, we're at mainstream curiosity, not mainstream adoption. And if we want to get to adoption, we have to do it securely. So tell your friends, take the extra step, and you know, we've got this. It's going to be great.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ariel. And for anyone that was over their heads, just know after this ends, we actually have a special session as a reminder to set up your wallet and explain it in like kindergarten terms, like we did the blockchain. We're actually going to show you what it's like to walk through that on a screen share. So you'll see exactly what it's like to do that, where you make your account, what you need to even click on. You will get walked through that if you stay on this call. Okay, I want to come back with the results of the acronym vote. This is very important. We had a few additional contenders actually that chimed in. One that I really like is OCD, obsessive crypto disorder. I think that's a clever one. Well done out there. A lot of women's specific ones. GML, good morning, ladies. WIC, women in crypto, or WWC, women winning crypto. But by far the most popular one, and we seriously didn't rig this, you guys, was BFF, blockchain friends forever. So I think we're going to have to just make this a phrase that we use like in sentences. Maybe we'll actually like scare the guys because they'll think we mean best friends, but it's actually blockchain friends. I don't know. So we're all BFFs in a whole new way. I love that. So the next presenter we have coming is Sophia Garcia. Sophia works with Art by Times Code, and she has been in the space for years and years. She's here to talk about what I know is on a lot of your minds, which is the environmental concerns around cryptocurrencies and this whole ecosystem. Sophia, can you come to the stage and introduce yourself?
Hello. My name is Sophia Garcia. I have the lovely task of discussing blockchain concerns, specifically energy consumption. So be nice, guys. What I'd like to do, though, is give a frame of reference on how to look at our current timeline and hopefully provide a bit more optimism in the sustainability of distributed ledger technology. So it's important to note that cryptocurrencies are relatively new technologies, meaning there are potential avenues to shape it for the better. I really wanted to start off by discussing kind of what got us here, and Bitcoin, which really started this movement and uses a consensus mechanism referred to as proof of work. It's extremely secure, and over a decade ago now, other blockchains followed suit. So in 2000 we have Litecoin, Dogecoin, Monero, but one of the downfalls of proof of work is that it is extremely energy intensive. And so a variety of alternative mechanisms have been presented, the most popular and promising being proof of stake. So in the last 5 years, we've seen blockchains embrace proof of stake in order to avoid the computational cost of the proof of work scheme. So this protocol works a little bit differently. It works by selecting validators in proportion to the quantity of their holdings. You can look more into it after, but researchers at the University College London concluded that their energy consumption per transaction is at a minimum 2 to 3 orders of magnitude lower than that of Bitcoin. Ethereum is one of the most popular blockchains right now, and it is moving over to its consensus layer this year, which will be running on proof of stake, which is a huge win for everyone, and will drop its energy consumption by over 99%, which is huge. And yeah.
Can I chime in, Sophia? Because
Yeah,
I just want to
please.
make sure that people really understand this. Because, basically what's happened is proof of stake, these words don't make sense. They didn't make sense to me, so I'm sure they don't make sense to a lot of you out there. Basically, we're moving from making computers do a lot of the work to having people do this work. And so therefore, there's not as much energy consumption, right? Because they're human beings. And like Sophia said, I think the really awesome part is that, a lot of this is getting reduced by literally 99.9%. So the energy consumption rate is going drastically down. And many of the different chains, the blockchains right now, Bitcoin is a blockchain, Ethereum is a blockchain, all of these things that those words on the slide we just told you about are also different blockchains. Many of them already use this new framework. So there are many that actually require no gas. Remember gas from our original session, where you have to pay to create the dollars that is powering the energy to do all this work, because it does not cost anything. And it's also so much faster and cheaper. And that's where Ethereum is headed as well, which we're really excited about. And this is really important to understand, because I know a lot of people have just not been entering this world because they don't want to harm the planet, which totally makes sense. But again, with anything new, there's going to be a lot of change really quickly, and so many people are working on this. Sophia, I will put it back to you. Just wanted to make that statement.
I mean, I think it's important to note also the years on the blockchains here. So, in the last 5 years alone, all of these blockchains that are being created are using proof of stake. I think it's important, just being in the art side, Tezos was really heralded as like the green NFT platform, and we saw a lot of artists. The artist community on Tezos is unmatched, because it's important to them, and for them to feel like they are not contributing to any of the environmental concerns. So I think it's also important to note that on a larger scale, there's been the Crypto Climate Accord, which was inspired by the Paris Climate Accord, including the World Economic Forum, Ripple, Consensus, all these different parties coming together, really prioritizing climate stewardship and supporting the entire crypto industry and their transition to net zero greenhouse gas emissions. I think one of the primary goals that they announced was for all blockchains to be powered by 100% renewables by 2025. Among the different solutions that they look at, one of the most interesting right now in this kind of this interim of the innovation period is carbon offsets. So one thing that a lot of companies are coming in together to do is put money towards conservation in the Amazons, forest protection, conservation efforts in wind energy. It's a really, really huge, massive opportunity now to be able to participate and offset anything. So one example I have on the next slide is Artblocks, a company that I love. They've Art Blocks alone has offset 20,000 tons of CO2 emissions just in the last year alone. And this is just one example of one platform that they've used to do that. So this is really just to say that we have the power to come together. We can all join the conversation the best way we can. And I think it's really important that this new movement needs new voices. And so I'll, of course, be the change we wish to see in the world, and let's make crypto green.
Love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sophia. Before we jump into NFTs with my friend Randy Zuckerberg, I want to actually just recap a little bit of where we've been, because we're going to start pulling this all together. You guys are going to start seeing this all maybe start to make sense. It's okay if it's a little fuzzy still. I want to show you a few images of what kinds of things you probably already own, right? Or you might seek to own: a house, a car, art. You might collect records, you might collect books, you might collect sneakers or fashion or jewelry. You are effectively the perfect candidate to be living in a Web 3.0 world. All of these things that you are collecting are things that you can own, and you can find other people that own, and you make your value, your profit, your wealth as more and more people want to own them. It's just like having a stamp collection or a spoon collection or, trading card collection. And that's where Randy Zuckerberg is going to come in and bridge us into the world of NFTs by first explaining WTF is an NFT. Randy, over to you.
Woohoo! Well, first of all, I am loving this event. I'm learning so much. And I'm going to admit to all of you that I'm incredibly nervous right now, because I only just got into the NFT space a few months ago. I mean, would you take piano lessons from someone who just started playing a few months ago? But that's the space. And so if I can go from total beginner to presenting to all of you, just imagine how much you're going to learn in the coming weeks and months. So first of all, let's just examine human behavior. We love collecting random shit. Like we love doing it. Maybe you collected Beanie Babies. Maybe you're one of millions of people who collected sports. I collect Broadway playbills because I'm that show tunes nerd. Whatever your collection, maybe you've sold some, maybe you organize them in binders. Probably someone in your life at some point has turned to you and asked, like, ugh, why are you holding on to those things, and judged you. But congrats, if you've ever collected or valued something, and if you've ever cared that you own it, well, you're well on your way to understanding what NFTs are. But you might say to me, all right, Randy, those are physical objects. I get why someone would want to collect them, but why the hell would someone pay $36,000 for this Google-eyed JPEG? Or why would someone pay $500,000 for a gorilla JPEG? Have we all lost our goddamn minds? I mean, I have for sure, but also no, we haven't. 6 months ago, I was legitimately sitting exactly where you are. I was skeptical, I was confused. Fast forward to now, I now own more than 100 NFTs. And in order to truly understand the value of NFTs, we need to understand why things have value at all. NFT stands for non-fungible token, meaning that each is unique and you can't just simply exchange one for another. If I say, if I give Britt a $20 bill and then I say, oh wait, no, hold on, no, let me give you this 20 instead, Britt is definitely gonna think I'm nuts. She might not, because she knows me well enough by now, but she'll exchange it to me no problem, because those two bills are absolutely identical to her. But if I say, hey, Britt, lend me your phone, and she gives it to me, and then I try to give her a different phone back, yeah, she's not going to be my friend anymore, because that phone, even though those two phones might look identical, one of them has a lot more value to her than the other. That is non-fungible. Sometimes things have value because of a backstory. Sometimes it's the person who created it. Sometimes it's just your personal taste. If I came over and I drew on your ceiling, you would not be happy about it. But if Michelangelo did it, voila, priceless work of art. So an NFT applies to digital assets that are unique and have value. They can be anything. It doesn't just have to be art. It can be a music clip, a video, a super special recipe, a book. It can be a ticket to a conference or a concert or an event. But because the asset is created on the blockchain, you know 100% that it's authentic. Let's say you're buying a Chanel bag. Like, you want to make damn sure that that bag is authentic before you spend thousands of dollars on it. But with digital assets, the proof is right there. I was chatting earlier with fellow speaker Elon, who did an amazing job talking about the blockchain. And we were saying that it is absolutely insane that one of all of our most valuable assets right now, our COVID vaccine card, is printed on flimsy paper. And that is it, with no easy access to validation or authentication. And the great thing about NFTs is that artists love it, because not only do they get to sell their work the first time, but they now get royalties on every sale of art in the future. In real life, if an artist sells something once, it could trade hands 100 more times. The artist might never even know, and they'll never see a dime. But put something on the blockchain, and an artist or a creator or a musician could get royalties for decades, which is absolutely game-changing for people in creative industries. All right, so maybe you're still sitting there and you're like, hey, Randy, can't you just right-click, save the file, and then it's exactly the same as buying the NFT? I mean, sure, you could walk through the Louvre and take photos of every single piece of art in there, and then you could go buy postcards of them in the gift shop, but you don't own that art by doing it. Because NFTs are recorded on this magical blockchain, you know that you own the one and only true copy of something. So here you'll see an image of a Grimes music video that's sold for millions of dollars, even though anyone right now, you could go watch that exact video right there on the site it was sold. And that's because owning art isn't about keeping other people from enjoying it. Owning art is simply about understanding and verifying who the one legitimate owner is. I also want to say, we've been talking a lot about wealth today and wealth generation, but there are so many reasons that people buy an asset, physical or digital, that isn't about the money at all. Sometimes it's part of your identity or your self-image. You might buy a designer handbag or get a really weird tattoo or spend a lot of money on art or get a specific Instagram handle simply because those things say something about who you are and the image you want to project to the world. Another reason is maybe because you really want to be part of a community, like this amazing community we're all part of tonight. We really love belonging to things and being part of something. And sometimes an NFT is like a membership pass or access to a community that you just really want to be a part of. Sometimes you buy something because it's scarce. Something that's perceived as being rare or scarce or one of a kind might seem more valuable to you. Or finally, maybe you just like it, and that's good enough. There are a lot of things that I buy because I freaking like them. Like a piece of jewelry is pretty, a sweater is warm. Probably it's because there's a void in my soul from 2 really shitty years in a pandemic with 3 children, and I can only fill that void by buying things. But like, I don't know, stop judging me. Sometimes something's valuable because you value it. So there are a lot of marketplaces where you can buy NFTs. Some are open marketplaces, some are specialty ones. You'll see here on the right, this is an NFT. I woke up this morning and my 7-year-old had done this sketch. So I don't know, is that like good parenting, awesome parenting, terrible parenting, who knows? But while you're searching for an NFT, you can typically sort by price, scarcity, or specific feature. Then you click connect to your wallet. Don't panic if you don't have one yet. Make sure you have enough crypto to cover the purchase and those transaction fees that we've been talking about all evening. And then voila, the purchase is recorded on the blockchain with you as the new rightful owner. You can then choose to hold it or sell it, A lot of times, if I like a specific collection, I'll buy more than one so I can sell one and keep one. But by far, my favorite thing about my NFT portfolio is that it entirely consists of women-led projects. I think our wallet and how we spend our money is one of the biggest tools for activism that each and every single one of us has. So that's my investment thesis, that women-led projects rock. And oh, by the way, my portfolio is crushing it right now because women-led projects are absolutely on fire. So with that, I'm delighted to hear from 4 women who are absolutely at the forefront of this movement of NFTs. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll be dying for all of us to stop talking so you can go run and buy some. First, I am delighted to bring up Maliha, the founder of Women Rise. Maliha, welcome to the stage.
Hi, Randy. Hi, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here. It's such a wonderful space. Bert and Jamie, well done for doing this. And yeah, I'm just so delighted to be here. I'm really, really honored to share about Women Rise. So to start with a formal introduction, my name is Maliha Abdi. I'm an artist and an author and an activist, and also the creator and artist of Women Rise. So Women Rise is an extension of the work that I've been doing for the past 9 years for women's rights and girls' education. My activism is through my art. I have been able to work with global organizations in the past 9 years, such as Malala Fund, the Girl Effect, the PAD Project, and even the companies like Adobe, Google, all for campaigning through art for social justice. And now I'm able to step into the NFT space and just create an extension of that work. And mainly that's because I didn't see myself in crypto. I didn't see myself in like any other like tech or finance space, and NFTs were my gateway. And to many, NFTs may seem like JPEGs or PFP or like a piece of art. To me, it was a gateway into starting a revolution and creating a community. I do want to read something quickly that a fellow BFF, Ilan, just asked. What is something in your life that can be revolutionized by a decentralized and public network? For me, that's girls' education. So even though Women Rise is a collection of 10,000 NFTs that is celebrating and representing women activists, artists, scientists, coders, our ultimate goal is to build the first school in the metaverse for the 258 million children who are currently out of school. So these are not children who are, at home studying on Zoom because of the pandemic. They are children who never had a chance to even get an education. 129 million of them are girls. And I am an immigrant from a country where we're one of the top countries where children are out of schools. I have seen this firsthand in my own community as well, and how it doesn't just impact girls' education, but it sometimes leads to child marriage, even period poverty is an additional factor, women's health, and there's so many destructive things that lead to this, and also through education, we can liberate millions and millions of women and girls around the world. Working on the digital divide at Women Rise is one of the main things that we need to overcome in order to make this school a reality. And it was supposed to be a part of our roadmap too in the project, but we launched on the 26th of November. We recently just got sold out. We're really grateful for that. All thanks to the support of the community. And we have started working on the school. And I just had a conversation with an organization that evacuated 100 girls from Afghanistan, and they may be the first batch of students that will become a part of this school. And so this is the kind of thing that, just because of NFTs that we can create in this space. But again, that's a very small side of things within the Web3 space, because the potential, we don't even know what the space can do. So what I would like to ask you is, think very radically. What is the most radical thing that you see happening in this space, thanks to the Web3 technology, decentralized space, NFTs, and all of these different things. Grateful to say that we have been able to contribute to 4 organizations focused on women's rights and girls' education, which I have worked with in the past as well, so I know where the funds are going. They're a very grassroots organization, but that's, again, just a very, very small part of what Women Rise wants to do in this space, through art, through activism, and through advancing human rights.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maliha. You're so inspiring and such a leader in this space. I now want to turn to Lisa, who's the founder of Boss Beauties. Lisa, tell us about why your collection should be in every BFF wallet.
Thank you, Randy. I'm so honored to be here, first of all. So as Randy was mentioning, I am the founder of Boss Beauties. I'm really passionate about mentorship and education, like Maliha is as well. For the past decade, the heart of my work has really been to support young women in college and high school as they design the career of their dreams and really look to find their dream job and pursue their passions. So through my company, My Social Canvas, we've built a virtual mentorship program. We have a global community of women and girls in high school and college from all over the world, in 15 different countries. And this is really my passion. We've hosted mentorship events with our community where we've had Olympic athletes, women executives and leaders from companies like Apple and Google, Marvel, NBC Universal, lots of different fashion brands, but really it's about giving access to these young women to meet these mentors and to find internship opportunities and scholarships. So that's my passion. But here's a little of the story on Boss Beauties, because it does fit in with My Social Canvas. So in 2021, actually under 9 months ago, I dove into NFTs and I was a new mom. I had my son Hudson in May. 3 months after I had Hudson, I realized the potential of NFTs and crypto and a lot of what we're talking about tonight with Web3. So you're probably thinking I'm crazy. Many of you think this is crazy, but I decided when I had my newborn, that it was a good time to start Boss Beauties. And Boss Beauties is really an extension of all the work that we've been doing through My Social Canvas for the last decade. And we're so passionate about this work. This is more than an NFT. It's so much more than about an NFT. We're really looking to support young women and mentor them to help them create the career of their dreams. So for all of our BFFs here, I feel like we're BFFs already, right? I just want to invite you to get involved in our work. Ways you can get involved if you pick up a Boss Beauty, but join our community. If you want to mentor the young women in our community, we host lots of events. We're supporting scholarships from a portion of the proceeds from our NFTs. So we'd be so honored and really excited to have you involved. And yeah, we're just excited to be here. I thank the whole team for putting this together and bringing more women and more diversity into Web3. So thank you, Randy, for helping us share the story of Boss Beauties.
Thank you, Lisa, so much. We have 2 more and then we're in for the big surprise. So stick with us, everyone. I'm going now to Francine, CEO of Meta Golden. Francine, tell us about how NFTs can tie to physical goods and your recent launch.
Hi, Randy. Thanks. Yeah, I'm loving this panel. This is like super awesome. It's nice to be able to connect with my people because usually, crypto is like a foreign language and there's not a lot of crypto native people. So this is awesome. Okay, keep scrolling, scroll super fast through the beginning because that's the floor, as you know. I want to get to the big ticket items. We just launched Ashley Longshore by Meta Golden this week. And in the first 7 days, we were already number 21 on OpenSea. If any of you know Ashley Longshore, and first of all, just to introduce myself, I have a blockchain business where I tokenize NFT art with 18 karat gold jewelry, because I felt when I got into the space a couple of years ago that I wanted something to show for it that was a physical asset. As the industry's evolved, it's now called phygital, which means physical and digital. but that's what I do is I basically sell NFTs with gold attached to it, gold jewelry. So I partnered with one of my BFFs, Ashley Longshore, who has an incredibly loyal community and following. And I'm also an NFT investor. And one of the first things I look at in any project is I look at the community that supports the project, because that's ultimately what is going to make a project fail or succeed. And our project has been very successful in that we did the first day of our pre-sale on Monday. We sold out in 2 hours. We minted 600 NFTs in 4.5 minutes, which is kind of unheard of. And especially because I took this project to over 100 devs when I was starting out. But you know, it's really hard for women to get a leg up in the space, and all the devs are really expensive and really booked by the gaming community, and it's a very male industry. So I really struggled, and I had to find someone to take this. And I finally found a woman who has been incredible, Izzy Othman. And she took the challenge on with me, and everyone said we'd fail. No one wanted it. And yet here we are kicking ass. I know that Britt bought one. I think Lisa Sugar tried to buy one, a lot of the founders in this community. But Lisa, I'm still going to get you one. I'm still working on it. There are hundreds of people on the waiting list, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds actually, that I have personally been working to onboard into the space. And Ashley's work just speaks for itself. I mean, if you actually go and click on one, I got Kate Moss, you can stop there and just kind of show the detail. I mean, to me, like a lot of projects right now that you invest in are not interesting because it's like very male oriented or the art is just not beautiful. No one can say that this art is not incredible and beautiful and valuable. And this collection is a real artist. Ashley has a real following. And this is something that is not just a value-based investment, but will have value for a very, very long time. This is the very cheapest that it will ever be, and it's already traded 5 times from its original offering. So I'm super bullish on it. There's something in the collection for 88 ETH, which is over $200,000 already. Like I said, we've only been out, we sold out the first day in the first 2 hours, but it's something that if you're a first-time investor and you know Ashley and you want to dip your feet in the crypto pond, this is a winner. It's a super winner. What can I tell you? A lot of these founders, I'm so excited to be a part of this community. Susan Line, I don't know if you remember me, but I was at InStyle when you were at O way back in the day. I'm working to onboard women and girls into the crypto space, and I'm super passionate about it. It's what saved my life personally. And I've invested in Ethereum a while ago, and I'm very, very, very invested in the space now. I'm one of the 4%, and I hope you'll check out Meta Golden to hear more.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Francine. What an amazing collection. And to take it all home, the woman who started it off, Mila, come talk to us
Baby, I mean, hold on. There's a whole sidebar conversation I was having with Lisa Sturbakov. I was like, talk about lowbrow, highbrow. Look it, not all NFTs are created equal. Yes, ours is called Stoner Cats, Randy. So the first thing I want to say is, and I do want to make this short because I know we're running over, is I don't ever want people going into NFTs thinking that it is an investment. Like it is, don't go into it because you love it, because you think it's beautiful, because it's something that brings you joy, that makes you happy, that gives you some sort of just happiness. I think going into any investment, looking into this is that the SEC will come after you. So I do want to make this very clear. Do not go into this being like, oh, this is how you're going to make money. Go into this because it's fun, it's great, and you want to be a part of the community and you support the people behind it and you want to invest in the creators or the artists. That's the reason to do it. Okay, Stoner Cats. Why we did Stoner Cats? Because we love the artists. We supported our artists and we realized the artists could not pay their rent. And we tried to figure out a way to make it work with the studio that we had sold this to, and we couldn't. And we were like, listen, crypto community, the NFT community, the Web3 community, the blockchain allows the artists to have royalties during the existence of the artwork, during the existence for us, it's an animated show, and it gives them creative freedom. They have no one over them telling them what and how they can create things. And that was our basis for this. We created a show. With the show, we gave out NFTs. So look at our NFTs almost like merch. It's kind of just like, and here's a poster. And we, our company does a little bit more of, I guess, Web3 production. Like we have a video game, we have a board game, a video game, a card game. We have another animated show coming out in the next couple months. So we're a little bit all everywhere, but all in the world of Web3 and the metaverse. But the next one we're doing is called Gimmicks, and it's a little bit more about wrestlers. But I will say, we do give our money back, okay? So I don't want to be like the asshole here who's like, I'm also saving people. This one is based on our creator's mother who has Alzheimer's. And so a percentage off of this just go to the Alzheimer's Association. And it is based on her mother. And it is a love letter to her mom. And so that is the impetus for this show. But we're you know, Web3 production company. And we love working in this community because we are able to create and write our own rules. And we love everything that everybody's doing, and it's amazing. That's my spiel, Randy.
Woohoo! Well, it's a great one. Thank you so much, Mila. So I hope this is just a sampling of just thousands and thousands of projects in the NFT space that you can look at. I hope that after this, you understand a little bit more about NFTs, or at least you understand my enthusiasm for the space. And even without that, the next time that some bro condescendingly goes like, why would anyone spend thousands of dollars for a dumb JPEG? You are ready to drop a serious knowledge bomb. So happy shopping, everyone. And back to you, Britt and Jamie.
Thank you so much, everyone that presented in that section. It's so cool to see the diversity. Again, it's not just a JPEG. There are video NFTs, NFTs as tickets, NFTs as all kinds of things. And we've reached the, I think, most exciting time of the presentation. Not to say none of you were exciting, because we loved all of you, but this is one for the community that is participating and tuning in live right now. This is what we have been calling, you know, our big Oprah moment of the show. Oprah, if you're out there, sorry to steal your thunder. Wish you could have spoken tonight. But we do have something to give to all of you that joined us, signed up for our email list, and want to be in the BFF community. And I'm going to turn it over to my co-founder, Jamie, to explain what that is.
Hi. Okay, definitely been waiting for this moment. We would not be a Web3 community if we did not have an NFT project, right? So big news, BFF is launching our first NFT collection. It's coming out in March. Super stoked to tell you more about the artist and the whole team behind this. But the exciting news is that we are giving away 10,000 tokens that will unlock early access to our NFT collection. So this means at random, we're going to draw 10,000 names for people to get their token, and we're covering the gas fees. The only thing you have to do is tell us that you want in on the drawing. So basically, go to the number that Britt's going to put on the screen, and you're going to text that you want in. We will send you a link to a landing page, and all we need from you is your email address and your wallet address. And if you don't have your wallet address yet, it's okay. We have time. We're going to give you a 48-hour window to get your wallet set up and to go and claim this. We're also going to have a tutorial immediately following this session. So we're stoked. We've been working on this beautiful collection for a while now. Can't wait to share it with the community. And if you want to be the first to get into it, sign up. If you're wondering what early access means, it basically just means that you will have the right to, or the opportunity to purchase these NFTs before they're open to the general public. So when you have an NFT collection that has high demand, a lot of people are scrambling and they're waiting to buy. So with this token that we're going to send to your wallet, you will be the first to be able to access the bigger NFT collection that's coming in March. We're covering the gas again, so there's zero fees on your end.
I love this so much. And I hope all of you are as excited as we are to bring you into the community here. All of the details will be sent to you again if you text Minted to our phone number. This is really us, by the way. We see these messages. So we can text back with you and hang out with you. We will give you, again, 2 days, 48 hours to do this. If you do not have a wallet yet, stay on in just a minute and we are going to show you how to set one up. But this, I hope, will be really powerful for you, not just to be part of this community, but to potentially do something magical with the NFTs that you own in the future, that we hope you own in the future, and we're excited to reveal what we have in store to you. Really quickly, just as we wrap up here, just to bring it all together one more time, we are owners, we are collectors of so many things. Where is all this all going next? Well, it's going to take several years, right? But prepare to start collecting things. I think you're all going to start collecting things. 2/3 of people, by the way, agree that this is all happening. It's an inevitable future that we will be collecting and owning more digital assets. These are called NFTs. You will use them as part of your digital identity, as your PFP, your profile photo within VR games or experiences that you have instead of Zoom, which we all, I think, could probably do less of. We are also knowing that we're going to join communities of people that like to own the same stuff as we do. BFF is one of those communities. We all have a similar point of view. We all want to learn things together. We all want to participate in this world together. But what other communities might you be a part of? Maybe it's Boss Beauties or Stoner Cats, or maybe it's, the Beyonce community, which I would definitely love to be part of. So as soon as you drop your coin, Beyonce, I'm all in on that. Then you can, of course, use, trade, or sell your ownership in all of this to whoever you want, whenever you want, in much simpler ways than ever before. Imagine a one-click transaction when you buy a car. You guys have probably, if you bought a car before, you know how crazy that is, right? Like all the paperwork, all the craziness. If you bought a house, you get the title, you have all this stuff, right? That all goes to the bank. Not anymore. The transactions are going to get so much simpler, and it's going to be verifiable that who you are, what your identity is, and what you own. We're really excited about that. Last final note, just to bring it all together one more time, Peloton, which I know probably a lot of you have, this was some chatter that was happening this week that is symbolic of what's currently happening and how a lot of the men are thinking about it. But I'm trying to get us ladies to start thinking about it this way as well, right? Coinbase should buy Peloton and use the energy output for its riders to power Bitcoin mining, right? And then someone else replied back, oh, good idea. And if there was a Peloton token that everyone had when they bought a Peloton, so they also got this NFT, a token, right? Then maybe every time they work out, they actually earn money. And so you're saving the environment and making people money all at once. Wouldn't that be a cool idea? And this is the fodder that, again, these male communities are having as they're creating what could be ideas for the future. And I urge you, why can't we start having these conversations as well? I think we can. And I think that we should do that together on, I don't know, Discord. That's what BFF is all about, right? We've got so much more to come. We've got more content, education, and community. We've got more earning opportunities of all kinds to come. And we want you to find us where we are, which is on Discord. We have a link to that on our site, mybff.xyz. You can find us also at mybff on Twitter and Instagram. You can text us again at the number I shouted out before. But we hope you will join us as we reveal more of our roadmap in the weeks to come. And frankly, a lot of it is unknown yet because you get to help create it. You get to help vote on what we are going to do next. Maybe we should go do a Peloton token and collaborate with Peloton. Who knows? The sky is the limit, you guys. So please make sure to join us and stay engaged in the conversation because we are just getting started. With that, thank you for staying a little bit over time. Thank you to all of our participants today. Can I shout out all of my founding BFFs one more time? You give a good goodbye wave, kisses. We should do the actual wave. It's too hard in Zoom. Thank you for being here and spending so much time with us today. And if you want to stick around to learn how to set up a wallet, we've got 30 seconds before we do that. Let us know what you thought of tonight by heading over again to our Twitter, Instagram at MyBFF, or jumping in the Discord where there is an after party we'll all be hanging out in. And I hope that you guys are now a little bit more OCD, obsessive cryptocurrency disorder, which we coined as one of our favorite new acronyms today. Good night and goodbye, everybody, and we will see you soon. Stick around for the office hours. Okay, we are back. For those of you who want to learn how to set up a wallet, I want to introduce my friend Avni, who to come to the stage, and she's going to help walk you through exactly how to do that. Avni, why don't you come up and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Avni, and I'm excited to share how to create a wallet.
Oh, Avni, actually, I'm going to share it from my screen, if that's cool with you. Yeah. There we go. Yep.
Then you can.
Okay, I'm going to take it back from you. All right, here we go. Sharing, and we're on.
Perfect. So my name is Avni. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Milo. My journey to tech has, I was a non-technical founder that started a tech company, and I found myself super intimidated by software and code. And slowly I learned how to just make small steps to get into building software and becoming more technical. My journey into crypto started a couple of years ago when my former co-founder introduced me to cryptocurrencies. And so I bought my first Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then maybe about a year ago, I created my own wallet. And so slowly each of these different steps helped me enter this world that I didn't really still understand, but started to get more comfortable in exploring. So in the next 10 minutes or so, I wanted to walk you through how to create a wallet. And so if we want to click forward, that's me. And I have recently gone on a buying spree. I think what you'll find is that once you get comfortable with it, and once you get a wallet and start getting set up and you start seeing all these incredible projects, it becomes really, really amazing to be able to then go collect all of these amazing assets. So quick agenda, we're going to cover what's a wallet and why do I need one? What are the different kinds? Ariel already covered a bunch of this stuff, so I'll just cover it really lightly. What are some security things if you want to be trying to follow along today? And then we'll actually go step by step into creating a wallet. And I believe we have a brave volunteer to be able to actually do it step by step. So I'll take it from there. So first, why do I need a wallet? I think it was already covered, but I think one of the interesting things for me, when I came into it, I thought it was just a thing to hold my money. I think one of the more interesting things is the way to also access Web3 enabled assets and this other word called dApps, which is decentralized apps. We already saw this graphic, but I think it also makes it just so intuitive. About Web 1 was a lot about user password. Web 2 was about clicking into existing platforms. And then Web 3, I'll also demo this, is really this seamless one-click connect your wallet. And these websites and these dApps are able to then talk to your wallet and then customize and personalize the experience for you. So there are a couple of different wallets that we've already talked about. The first are these hot wallets. It's software, whether it's mobile, web, desktop. They're connected to the internet. And the big great thing about this is that they're easy to use and access. The other cold wallets, and I've got one here, these are hardware, they're offline, they're more secure. And in general, they're used as you're starting to think of when you're holding a little bit more cryptocurrency. So the one that we're going to be demoing is MetaMask, and it's an Ethereum wallet. And so before we get into that, I wanted to just start with a couple of notes on security. You definitely want to be setting this up into in a private place. So no cafes or private or public spaces. You want to write the private keys or the seed phrases on a piece of paper and then secure that piece of paper in a safe place. Ideally, you're pairing this with a hardware wallet. And then look out for phishing scams, which I'm sure folks can get into what to look out for with those, but never again share your private keys or seed phrases or anything like that. Okay, let's get into this. So, so here's also just a quick guide on wallet security levels. I found this. Twitter ends up being a really great resource. So if you start following amazing people, they'll also share some of this learning as you go. So beginner, some suggestions on using like a hot wallet. As you get intermediate, larger amounts, and advanced, you can start thinking about how to use different hot wallets and cold wallets to manage that. Okay, so at a high level, we'll go into how to create a wallet. The first one in general is pick the right wallet for your needs. So that's, you're going to look at whether it's an online software hot wallet or a cold one. We're going to be focusing on Ethereum, but if you are looking at other projects that, for example, on Solana or other protocols, you'll need different wallets. So just to be aware of that. Then you'll pick if you've picked, let's say, MetaMask, you'll download and create them and then you'll complete some security steps that we'll show you. And then the last step is you've got this wallet. And if you're wanting to then transfer, if you've bought some of your ETH on, let's say, Coinbase, you want to then transfer it from Coinbase to MetaMask, so then you can do your transactions. Now let's walk through each of these steps. And like I mentioned, so you'll pick the right wallet for you. You're thinking about the protocol and the currency. You're thinking about what use cases are you wanting to use this currency and this amount for, and then the general asset amounts. So this, we're going to be walking through actually doing this, but I wanted to give folks an overview so you feel comfortable with what the screens are, what all the words are. So you'll go to the website. When you click download, it'll say something like "Welcome to MetaMask." You'll have the option, if you already have a wallet, then you can also have it set up on another device. But you'll generally be here where it says let's get set up. You'll be asked to create a password. And then the last part will be a secret recovery phrase. And this is that seed phrase that here, you'll click that, you'll write those words down, and then you'll be asked to repeat them and enter them. And so all of this is just to make sure that it's very secure, and the seed phrase is the thing that you don't want to share with anyone, that you want to write it on a piece of paper and keep it in a secure place. And then the last step is going to be where you're going to go to wherever you've purchased your cryptocurrency, like Coinbase, and then you'll go to send and receive. It'll be a screen like this, and you'll enter if you're transferring it to your wallet, you put your wallet address, and it's going to be this kind of, it'll look like this 0x and then a long string of numbers. You'll put that address in there, the amount that you want to put, and then you kind of continue. So just to give you a sense of what are the different steps, it looks kind of intimidating because, of course, you want to make sure that things are secure. There are a lot of pieces of information, but just to walk you through, it's generally about picking and finding a wallet, creating it, and then thinking about how you want to move assets from the different places. Okay, let's try it out live. Do we have Vanessa on?
I'm here.
Hi. Okay. We have a very brave volunteer that's going to do this live. So hi, Vanessa. We're going to have her screen share, and I'm going to walk you through. She has a Coinbase account, but hasn't gotten around to actually creating a MetaMask wallet. So we're going to walk through it right now. So we can screen share Vanessa's screen.
While she's doing that, oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. I was just going to say that while she's getting set up here, hi everyone, Britt again. I want to make sure that you know there are many types of places you can go set up your bank account, your crypto bank account. Coinbase is one of them, but there are literally, I think hundreds at this point. Coinbase though is very reputable, very familiar, and MetaMask is one of the best wallets, but there are all kinds of wallets that you can use as well. So like Avni said, the first step is to make an account on Coinbase, which Vanessa has done. So now that she's set up an account, we're going to show you what comes next. Back to you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the other point I wanted to make was when you're creating either a Coinbase account or MoonPay or any of these types of accounts, it is a classic financial institution. So there are going to be lots of different checks and balances. So if you're being asked to verify your identity by uploading your driver's license, just know that that's fairly standard. And as long as you're using a reputable exchange, that's all to be expected. Okay, Vanessa, so let's start. So you've come to metamask.io. You're going to click the download button there. And the way that MetaMask works, it's a Chrome extension. So it should take you to, yeah, install MetaMask for Chrome right there. And so this is your classic, yep, it'll ask you all the permissions here and add your extension. And so just like most of us are used to kind of doing that part. And so here's the screen where you can now start clicking Get Started. And you wanted to click the one on the right where it says, yes, let's get set up. And again, when you're doing this for yourself, please read everything so you're aware of all the different steps that you're doing. A lot of this talks about the security steps, the things that you don't want to be sharing out with anyone. And so if you feel comfortable with that, you can click I agree. And so this is where you'll create your password for your actual account. So this is a lot about securing your wallet. You can watch the video. There's a lot of the tips along the side. You're never sharing this. You're storing it in a secure place. If you feel comfortable with that, you can click next. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to go off video for right now, because this is the part where you're going to want to write down. You want to click that box. You're going to want to write down those phrases. And I think it's about, for other folks, I think it's 12 words, if I recall correctly. And it's just like actual words like tree, desk, and they just give you a random set of words, and you have to just put them in a specific order. And so when you're done that, feel free to let me know, and you can just click next.
Almost there.
Perfect. And then she'll be putting them back in. So she'll write them down, and then she'll be asked to put them back into a box in the right order, so that she can confirm that she actually has the seed phrase in the right order.
Okay, pass the test.
Perfect. And if you want to reshare. Okay, perfect. And so this is all done. So now you have your wallet, and if you actually click up there, so you can click out of this. So this is your wallet. So it says account one. You can rename it because sometimes people have different wallets for different purposes. But the number underneath it, where it says 0xD7E, that's your actual wallet address. That's your public key. So if someone says, like, drop me your ETH address, or when to claim this NFT giveaway, which we're all excited about, you're going to want to share your wallet address. This is the number. This is the key that you're going to want to share. But then when you go on to the Coinbase side, you're going to also add that address into that screen where it says, what is the destination that I'm going to be sending this money to? Once you've done that transaction, you'll actually see that amount come up, pending all the different transaction fees and the gas fees. You'll see that ETH sitting here in this ledger here. And so then when you connect to your different, the different projects, if you're trying to purchase an NFT, you'll be able to see, what's the balance in your wallet, and you might need to transfer more, et cetera. But just to give you a little bit of a sense of what's to do here, if you want to send it, if you want to swap it to another coin, you can do all of those different pieces. But just to give you a general sense of the functionality, you, congratulations, now have a MetaMask wallet, and you have an address, and you're all set to go.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
And I wanted to just screen share one last thing. Well, actually, Britt, if you can pull up the slides. I think one of the most interesting things in my Web3 journey was after I was able to get a wallet, this idea of going exploring on the internet and going to Web3 sites and just understanding that interaction was just really interesting to me. So here are just 4 sites that I found interesting, and others can go around and see them. There's NFT Cal, so that will give you a sense of the drops So when different projects are dropping or minting NFTs, you can get a sense of, you can follow projects that you like and know what date that that will be happening. ENS domains is also great because if you want to get a vanity ETH address, so mine is apatelthompson.eth. You must be seeing other people on Twitter that also have vanity ETH names. You would get that from here. And if I'm going to actually just share a couple of my favorite sites. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just grab sharing. So here's a couple of different ways. Here's Mirror. This is a writing site, so you can follow incredible writers. And this also, you can connect up your wallet. And if you want to reward writers that you really love, there's ways to make transactions there. OpenSea, we've talked about as an NFT marketplace. There's also ones like Rarible. One thing I just wanted to really quickly show is when you do something like sign in, you just say sign in with MetaMask, and then it links to my MetaMask wallet here, and it's able to automatically kind of pull in all of the things that I would, my different NFTs. And that was an example of, you're able to go to different sites around the internet, and without being logged in, it has a certain experience. And then when you log in and when you connect your wallet, it's able to talk and say, okay, what are the things that you have? And how do I personalize this website and this experience for you? Same thing, Mila talked about Stoner Cats. Because I bought one of these, this one in this case gives you access to actually watch these episodes. And so again, this is a thing about connecting your wallet that gives you access to another set of experiences. The ENS app we talked about, if you want to look up, let's say, if somebody has a name and you want to be able to get it, this one, you can just like start typing in different addresses and see if it's available. If it is, then how much it costs, and if you want to be able to get that. And then other wonderful projects like, World of Women. Again, if you have one of these NFTs, you can then connect on these sites with connecting your wallet, and then get access to your personalized experience. So the incredible thing is, yes, having a wallet is important because you want to store your cryptocurrency securely. But I think it's also incredible that if you don't actually want to, if you just want to kind of sit on the sidelines and kind of play around a little bit, creating a MetaMask wallet is free. You can go do that right now. And then the ability to, either be gifted NFTs or be a part of some of these drops is a really nice way for you to just start playing around with some of the Web3 sites out there. So hopefully that was a quick overview on how to get yourself a wallet. And if there's any questions, we can follow up in the Discord.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you, Avni. And I'm on YouTube fielding lots of questions and comments, and I hope this was sort of valuable. So I'm just going to answer a few that I'm seeing pop up, which is like, why? So I need a Coinbase first and then a MetaMask. Yes. So the example is, it's like you need to get your bank account, and then you're going to like open a credit card or a PayPal account or something on top of that. So you do need two accounts. Coinbase also has Coinbase Wallet if you'd prefer to keep it all Coinbase. And like I said, there's a million other wallets out there that are really great, and a million other Coinbases where you can buy, create an account to store your crypto. The next question I heard was, where do I find my Coinbase address, my wallet address, or my MetaMask address? Typically it's a weird number that starts with a 0. It's 42 characters. And MetaMask, it's pretty obvious. It's just on the home screen, and you can click to copy it. On Coinbase, you have to slide a few times into your settings to find it. If you texted minted to our phone number, 415-301-4490 area, that's international code 1 for US. We are sending you, like I said, the information about how to claim your NFT token from BFF. In addition to that, we also have on that page more information about how to set up your wallet that links out to a lot of these different platforms and shows you exactly where on Coinbase also you can find your wallet address. There's actually an animated GIF that walks you through it. So hopefully that's helpful. The other thing to know is all of this is recorded, and we are going to be distributing it back to you guys to watch and rewatch again if everything didn't make sense yet. We also are here to do tech support and user support for you if you DM us on Twitter, in Discord, in our BFF Discord channel, which we have a link to, we can drop in, as well as on Instagram. We are manning DMs and happy to try to help you. Like I said, we want you guys to learn how to do this. I think once you have a wallet, the possibilities are endless. You're going to use it for years to come, I promise you. Even if you're cautiously optimistic that crypto and Web3 is a thing, which I hope we've convinced you it is at this point of the presentation tonight. This is something that's going to be like where you store everything, and you store more than just your Ethereum and your dollars and all those things in your wallet. You store your NFTs there too. You store everything you buy. If you went to a concert and you got a token for going to the concert, if you, got the BFF NFT, if you bought a sneaker, and that was an NFT, like all of that will show up in your wallet. So that's going to be really important for you going forward. And we're happy to onboard hopefully thousands of people to create their very first wallet tonight. So thank you, Vanessa and Avni, for walking us through that step by step. Once again, you can text Minted to 1-415-301-4490 to not only sign up to get the NFT, but also a little bit more information about how to set up your wallet. And that is the show tonight. Thank you for coming to office hours, being extra credit students and participating in all of this. We've loved spending the last 2 hours with you. We hope to spend many more hours with you. Head over to Discord if you're not tired of us yet. We're having an after party there. And we will see you guys very, very soon, I'm sure. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.